It all depends on your skill. It's showtime.
It's that time again, Drix. CFM Radio, video game music, news, and we've got a review of Baldur's Gate 3. But before we get into no one can stop talking about it, but this is going to be our final word on it. But before we get into any of that, Drix, we need to mention the big thing that goes down on Tuesdays here. Well, not here, I guess. Not here on YouTube. We have to mention it on Twitch. Because if you go twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch, you will find that we are playing the Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color. Hey, you know what? I just work with what's given to me. Right now, I'm rocking Nidorinos. Hey, Horn Hazard. Am I right? Horn Hazard. If you know, you know. The coin, the coin flips. The random coin flips of Pokemon trading card game, especially on the Game Boy Color. Crazy stuff. Very fun. Every Tuesday morning. CFM on Twitch at twitch.tv. That's twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. And we've had a few RPG theater. It might be time to bring it back. Well, we've been playing. We play. All our gameplay is going to mostly be, for the most part, on CFM on Twitch. So make sure if you like gameplay, you go on onto our Twitch. But if you like CFM Radio, you just got to keep it right here on YouTube. Video game music and news. And you know what, Drix? Let's jump right into some news. It's Gamescom. I almost missed it. Like yeah, you could say that again. A ton. There's a lot of crazy games being shown off at Gamescom. Uh, uh you know what? I'm just gonna say it, Drix. Where were you when Warhammer 40,000 Darktide died? Because Killing Floor 3 looks so awesome. I don't know if you've now, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you played any other Killing Floor game, but they're insanely like tough wave shooters, but it's really fun because like the overwhelming of zombies and the overwhelming odds that you can get around just by staying mobile, staying as a group and knowing what to do. Super fun. I love Killing Floor. Killing Floor 3, I can't wait for it. Oh my god. I can't wait. I can't wait for Mortal Kombat 1. I missed out on the beta, but I'm definitely going to I'm probably going to grab that ridiculous $100 version just to play it early. But I love Mortal Kombat, so it's super awesome. Hey, and you know what? Don't be so modest, Drix. Diablo 4 Season 2? Like, hey, you know what? Talking about boomer games. Um, did you check out Stormgate, the new RTS? It looks crazy. It's by former Blizzard, I guess StarCraft and StarCraft 2 devs, and man, it's shaping up to be one of the coolest looking games. You know what? I'm hoping. Here's the thing. I'm a big RTS fan, and the genre as a whole has kind of been on a downward slope. Um, the Age of Empires 4 didn't really hit it off as well as most would believe it would have. It's not for lack of anything really. It's just a there's no real the I don't think there's a very compelling map editor, and I don't think there's a map editor at all actually. And it's unfortunately kind of more of the same. I hate to say that about such a legendary franchise, but Age of Empires 4, that's one of the things that was revealed at Gamescom, the console version of Age of Empires 4, and that's kind of cool that console players can get in on it now, but like it is just kind of more Age of Empires, and if you're into that, that's super awesome, and if you're not, I don't think it's going to stick, and it clearly has not stuck with the non RTS fans. Like, if you're not into RTS games, you probably aren't into Age of Empires 4. And yeah, I don't think I haven't heard of anything that I picked it up a while back and I played it up for a little bit, but I never really. I don't think there was a ranked mode when it first came out on PC. So I kind of like played some multiplayer games and played up against a couple of friends, and then I kind of put it down. Maybe I'll pick it back up. Who knows? Especially with the maybe I don't know if it's gonna be cross-platform. I missed that actually. I maybe I'll go back and look at the trailer. But if it's cross-platform, that's a lot of players who are going to probably be trying out some Age of Empires. So that'll be cool. And if you're into boomer games, that's going to be a good one too. But I'm looking forward to Stormgate. They've got a sick map editor, it looks like. The combat looks great. I love RTS games. And even though I'm an RTS player who likes the versus mode, like the one on one, the two on two, like straight up, let's fight. I understand that I am yeah, head to head match. Let's fucking go. My army versus your army. I understand that I am unfortunately in the minority in that, where like most people just want to play Dota or whatever mini game they like, Footman. Like, and one last thing before we get into some music, I want to give a shout out. Before we move on from Gamescom, I want to Gamescom game announcements that we're super excited for. I want to give a big shout out to Little Nightmares 3. Little Nightmares series is a sick little a sick horror franchise from I'm pretty sure it's Capcom, and it's very fun. It's very imaginative. There's a lot of creativity going on. It has a really playful aesthetic, but it does horror very well. It's very atmospheric and creepy at times, and I think it's very very cool. And I'm super excited to see a Little Nightmares 3. Yes. Oh yeah, right. Oh, I forgot about Alan. Sad to say, I forgot about Alan Wake, but I did forget about Alan Wake. I'm hoping that's gonna be good, dude. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Alan Wake always comes out when there's like a big technological breakthrough in lighting, right? Like the first one was all about your flashlight, and like I think this one's all about like it's probably gonna be a light motif, probably be like candlelight or something like that. Like there's always a light thing, and now that we're in ray tracing and that's all about lighting, like I think we should that should be a pretty cool game. You know, if you like that ray tracing and you like that and you really want to be impressed by what ray tracing can do and how it can enhance your game, pick up Control. Control on the PS5. If you have a graphics card on your PC that supports ray tracing, play Control because that game is super awesome and it's super fun. And the visuals, if you have ray tracing on, oh wow, it's like mind blowing. Like the lighting is crazy. Like, and I just love it. It's a super cool game. If you want to see the power of ray tracing, you wanna check out Control or Returnal if you have a PS5. If you want a PS5 semi-exclusive, I think it came out for PC. But yeah, Returnal. That's another game that you wanna get the full PS5 package, including ray tracing, haptic feedback, and the sound, like the sound design influence. You go for that. It's good stuff. Lords of the Fallen was pretty cool. The When the magic broke out, here we go. When the magic broke out, I was like, okay, this is gonna be pretty sweet. Like, cause like Elder Scrolls has the magic, right? But like this looks like super flashy and impressive in Lords of the Fallen, as opposed to just like hand fireball. Like, oh, here. Hey, you know what? The driving simulation games are some of the toughest games out there. I don't blame you. They're really, really hard to get a handle on. No pun intended. Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah, what's the use, honestly, dude? Man, it's funny to me because I reviewed a couple of driving games and it's so tough to like balance the whatever vehicle you're driving while maintaining a really fast speed because like the top of your vehicle like I the driving simulation that comes to mind is actually funny. It's the Isle of Man, the TT Isle of Man 2. I did a review on that, and that's a motorcycle simulate driving simulation. And man, you could go really fast, but you could be popping wheelies, you could be popping backwards wheelies if you're not careful in balancing your weight. So those driving simulations can get pretty nuts. Like, I don't know. Those guys who camp the initial D machines all day at the arcades, at your arcade one up or your round ones, your your round table pizzas, like those guys that camp those machines and get those cards. Oh my God, you guys are nuts. Like, right, feeling the car. All right, let's jam out, Drix. What are we gonna listen to? Oh, hell yeah, it is. I love the Danger Room theme from Children of the Atom. Here it is, CFM Radio. CFM Radio. We are back. Clusterfuck Media Game Review. Tonight we're talking about the one, the only, Baldur's Gate 3. Now, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. I've been giving my impressions. I gave an update. So here's here's going to be the final word on Baldur's Gate 3. So today's RPG landscape is full of tough acts to follow, from narrative epics to fast action and loot-based stat grinds of varying aesthetic flavors. The role-playing genre seems to have just about something for everyone. However, it's also home of industry titans such as Mass Effect 2 and Final Fantasy 7 that make us rethink how deep our role-playing experiences can go in a video game. It should be no surprise, then, that Larian Studios has made the third entry of the legendary Baldur's Gate series one that continues the genre-defining nature of its expected pedigree. And, you know, I gotta say, Drix, there's a lot that you can say about the RPG genre, but these games are some of the most iconic in video game history. Couple decades, like, yeah, going all the way back to the first Baldur's Gate game, you know, like, you think about the original Baldur's Gate, you think about games like Planescape Torment, you think about older games, the first Final Fantasy game, right? Like, Dragon Quest, like, geez, there's so, Zork, right? Like, there's so many, yeah, in, in, yeah, exactly. Into the game and into the first DMs, you know, the first computerized DMs were from your text-based adventures and your MUDs, you know, your multi-user dungeons. Like, you know, people you want to talk Alexa, we were talking Alexa a few weeks back being your DM. You always had those kinds of DMs. They were just a little bit different. They had a little bit more defined stories to tell, you know what I'm saying? Just just a little bit, right? But you know, it's those old games, they always let you make your own character, and with two distinct backgrounds, a custom character can start with either the familiar blank slate style or the chaotically minded dark urge. You'll always feel like your created character has a solid footing. You can also play as most of the party members you are able to recruit in game. A full cast of pre-made origin characters from varying backgrounds, designs, and gameplay styles is also available to you if you want to jump in and play. Like, just jump in, play. You can just pick one of those guys and go. You can also play the entire game in co-op multiplayer, either two-person offline or a full party online or on LAN. This makes for some great roleplay moments and interesting narrative twists and turns, especially when two players team up with two NPC party members who react to the player's decisions. I gotta say, I've been saying for a few weeks now that me and my girlfriend have been playing this game, and it's interesting seeing the decisions that I make and the decisions that she makes. And I don't feel I feel like I have my own side story going on next to hers, and she's like doing the main storyline, her character's doing the main character storyline, she's player one, but I have this whole other arc that my character is like on, and he's like actively in it, and he's in it with another character in the party in my camp that normally doesn't travel with us. So it's really interesting the things that can happen and the things that can spring up just by playing the game with another person. Very, very cool. Right. There's a lot. Not just that. I didn't mention before the origin characters that you can play as. Like, you could they join your party, so you can switch to them almost any time. During the playthrough, right? You just switch over to your origin character, and you just all of a sudden, I'm that character now, and it's their story. I could literally leave my created character behind almost, and it's interesting to think about. And you can just start up a brand new run as your created character with um as your created character with, I guess, your other teammates playing as the party members that are already established that you get. And because those party members have their own takes on the main story if you play as them from the beginning. It's really cool to see. I really think that you get the widest breadth of narrative when you give the origin characters a shot, and when you play as them, because you get background on them, you get different choices in your dialogue options. Some of them, I don't think there's very many like super significant ones, but you do see the game through their eyes a little bit. And boy, oh boy, if you just like killing stuff, Dark Urge is great, and Dark Urge is an awesome way to tie it all back to the original Baldur's Gate games. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Um, Payoff. Yeah, that's a good word. Payoff for those who stick with that playthrough, because it's really, really cool. And you know what else is really cool? The combat. Combat is almost about as open ended as the dialogue and the narratives. The tactical turn based action can seem as varied as the dialogue, with characters able to push others off cliffs, throw items at targets, and deploy over 200 spells from the D&D books as either spellcasting class or via magic scrolls you find in the game. You'll always be able to enter an encounter with a strategy if you're aware of your surroundings. The Divinity Original Sin style combat melds perfectly with the D&D rules to create an engaging and fun turn-based system where considering all of your options feels incredibly rewarding. And I gotta say, you may have seen it in the B-roll here, but there is no greater like triumph than shooting your arrow of roaring thunder at the wall behind a hag, and then having the shockwave knock her forward into an empty bottomless pit, and that's how you win the fight. And it can, if you know what you're, again, if you're aware of your surroundings, considering all of your options is incredibly rewarding. Things like, having a bottle of grease and a dude who has a fire cantrip. There you go. There's an explosion. Like, it's so awesome. It's really cool. Like, and you know what, Drix? Push comes to shove, you're off a cliff to your death. So, at the end of the day, Baldur's Gate 3 does a fantastic job of immersing you into the world of Faerun. Whether you create a character, play as a pre-made origin character, go solo or with friends, the game has a ton to offer, especially to people who want some extra replayability. Combat is strategic, and the many ways you can decimate your enemies can be as astounding as the devious tactics that they end up employing against you. Multiple narrative paths, a ton of endings, and a lovable cast of quirky, smarmy, and heartfelt characters make this RPG one you won't want to miss. So your pros. Your choices have weight in this game. When you make a choice, some characters will literally come back at the end of the game to help you. It's awesome. Fantastic cast of characters. All these characters are memorable. All these characters are you can connect with them, and they're pretty good. They do a good job but I don't know if I don't know if that connection is can get super deep with all of the characters, but the ones that I experienced were great. I thought they were better than things like the Mass Effect character side stories. I thought they were better than the Dragon Age ones. Well, one of them was, and it was really, really, really great. Made me really feel connected to the characters. Plus the villains. Oh my god, the villains are great. So the fantastic cast of characters, absolutely one of the biggest pros. Amazing facial animations. The facial animations in this game are incredible. I don't know what they did. I don't know what technology they used, but you can see the emotion on these like digital faces. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some of them, some Giths, some elves, some other creatures that you see that they do end up looking a little goofy, right? But it is D&D. And yeah, exactly. It's fantasy. So, and I think at the end of the day, uh someone's going to walk into the room when you're playing this game, if you're playing it on the PS5, because it's coming out soon. Someone's going to walk into the room and they might just stop and watch if you're in the middle of dialogue, because you can follow what's going on and the severity and the weight of the decisions that are going on the characters' faces. It's great. Um, yeah, and to back all of it up, it's got stellar voice acting. This game's voice acting is very, very good. Every character feels heartfelt. Every character has a unique name, and every character is more than happy to speak and barter with you. So, you got that little Last of Us 2 influence where every character has a name. Like you're not just like fighting like cleric and warrior. You're fighting like cleric Dorakim or like like chosen Zarel. You know what I mean? Like you're fighting people with names, and when you're in combat, it it comes out. You really want to like either like save that NPC or like fuck this enemy up. You know what I mean? It's really, really cool. You get into it. It's awesome. Um, so the voice acting is awesome. You're listening to some of the music right now. It's incredible. The score by Boris Slavov is awesome. You could listen to all of it on YouTube. It's the battle themes are great. The leitmotif of Down by the River that just is throughout the entire game really, really makes you feel connected to the world and the story. It's awesome. It's got that Harry Potter feeling where the music is one of the things that also draws you into the world. Very cinematic, amazing score. The combat, fun and engaging. Tactical turn based. Sometimes it can feel a little bit more like a puzzle than like dynamic combat, but just the amount of things that you can do and the amount of crazy combos that can happen. You've seen it in some of this B-roll. Flaming ground, electrified floors, walls of fire, explosions everywhere. Like, you're throwing bombs, you're throwing alchemist fire, you're throwing all of it. It's great. Um Tons of replayability. You have like 6 origin characters. You have 2 different paths your creating character can go down. One of them links back to the original Baldur's Gate game. It's fantastic. Like, it's the replayability, and you could do it all co-op with a full team of created characters, or you could play as one of the origin characters with your friends. Like, just play however you want to. And of course, it's a great story. The story is fantastic. The dynamic narrative works about 95% of the time, which is stellar. There are a couple dead ends. You do have a few railroaded fights, but it is a video game. The fact that you are able to express yourself and role play, especially if you really want to role play. If you like, there are fighter options in dialogue. Like if you're a cleric and you worship a specific god, you can literally rock that in your role playing dialogue and have that just define your character. If you're a rogue, you can like be fast talking and sneaky. There's just so many ways you could role play through this game and experience its fantastic narrative. It's not exactly perfect. A couple of cons. The pathing issues hurt the AI party members. There are a lot of pathing issues, especially AI party members that aren't like for real party members, like party members that join your team. Like there are like ancillary party members that you get for like mission specific things, and they're kind of like an extra party member. Those guys just never follow any kind of orders. Like it yeah, so that can kind of suck, but there's ways around it. You can separate everybody. You can make everybody go like you can control them all individually. It's just a little bit of an issue. Uh, in a couple of times, I've had to quit. I'll just say it like this: I've had to quick load because someone walked incorrectly, and it's like damn it, F8, like. But the other thing is the dice rolls. The dice rolls can feel a little bit cumbersome. There's a couple of different dice roll options. None of them feel particularly great, but there's just if you're playing, if this is D&D, this is the 5th edition rules. Okay, you are rolling. You're rolling for everything. There's a lot of dice rolling. Thankfully, you can quick save almost anywhere in the game, but these dice rolls can get a little cumbersome. Yeah, they can feel a little not that there's too many. It's not even that there's too many. It's just that the way that the dice rolls, like, because there's two kinds of dice rolls. One that emphasizes things like one is supposed to give you more critical hits and critical fails more often, and the other one is supposed to be like a straight up 1 to 20 RNG. Neither of them feel fantastic. Like I said, neither of them feel fantastic. They get the job done. And you kind of want to use one for combat and one for dialogue. You want to use the one that's more focused on getting crits, fails, and hits for dialogue, and you want to use the one that's more focused on being the 1 to 20 RNG manipulator in combat, like big meaningful combat, because straight up missing when you could have gotten that little bit of damage in really does matter. It is D&D, and it does use those rules. So, like, getting those little bits of damage in can really matter. Like, there are so many, I'll say it like this, there are so many times where, like, you fight the boss in this game, right? And I hit him, it's a crit, and he's at 2 damage. And then here comes Shadowheart, rolling up, wham, miss. And it's like, oh, I didn't put on my 1 to 20 RNG manipulator because there's the range of that critical miss could have happened, and with 3 critical misses that she did these 3 rounds before is just impossible. You know, it's just not realistic. Like, so well, they are. You choose whether your dice are weighted or not. Essentially, you choose whether your dice are weighted or not. But if your dice is weighted, it's weighted to 1 as much as it is to 20. So, like, and then so that's why it can get weird for combat. So if you're okay with that, because there's a lot of dice rolling, if you're okay with that, that's cool. It is D&D 5th edition, so it is a straight up simulator. That's you get what you pay for. If you're more into the D&D with friends, why are you making me roll knowledge for my martial weapon? I have martial weapon expertise on my character. Can't I just say what I want to say, or like notice what this weapon has on it? You know, there's no homebrewiness here. It's straight up D&D. So if that's not your cup of tea, you might want to, it might grate on you a little bit, but it's not going to diminish the experience. And it's not going to diminish the experience, Drix, because I give fucking Baldur's Gate 3 a 5 out of 5. Everyone should play this game. Everyone should play this game. Like, there's just so many ways to play it, and you could play it with your friends. Yeah, and like I'm sure, like I'm at the end of my first run, so like I'm sure that and I'm like partway through my second character. Like they're about to beat the first boss in Act One. So it's like I can see how you don't want to do this back to back to back to back to back unless you have friends, right? Because playing this game multiplayer is definitely experience worth having as well. Like I definitely want to play with a team of 4 created characters. It's probably going to be awesome. But you definitely yeah, it'll definitely the role playing Drix, the role playing, like it's so good, it's so good. But no, that's Baldur's Gate 3, 5 out of 5. I think everyone should pick it up. Everyone should play it. Coming out on PlayStation 5, September 1st. Split screen multiplayer. Bring over your buddy. Bring over your significant other. Play some Baldur's Gate. It's gonna be fantastic. You'll have a great time. And I think before we jump into the new releases for the week, nah, we'll jump into the new releases really quick because you know what, Drix? There's only 2 that you really, really gotta watch out for, and one of them we both know is Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon comes out tomorrow. It's getting great reviews so far. It's not getting the best reviews. It's not getting 90s. It's got a couple of hundreds. I'm not gonna lie. It's not, but it's not up there with Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if you consider that underperforming or not, but it's still getting perfect scores from certain outlets. So that should tell you all you need to know. Armored Core 6. If you like mechas, if you like robots, if you like fast-paced, crazy action, pick it up. The the Oh yeah, I'm going to too. It's going to be great. But you know what? The other game I believe that comes out tomorrow is Blasphemous 2. So Blasphemous 2 is the follow-up to Souls-like Metroidvania Blasphemous, which was an indie darling at the time of its release. Everyone loved this game, and you know what? For good reason. It was a macabre Souls-like that was a very very different take on the genre. So from the Steam page. The penitent one awakens as Blasphemous 2 joins him once again in an endless struggle against the miracle. Dive into a perilous new world filled with mysteries and secrets to discover, and tear your way through monstrous foes that stand between you and your quest to end the cycle once and for all. We love Metroidvanias on CFM. I loved Metroid Dread. I love Axiom Verge. Oh my god, Axiom Verge is so cool. Um, I love pretty much every Castlevania. Put a Castlevania in front of me, I'll play it. I love the Game Boy Advance ones. Not gonna lie, the Game Boy Advance ones are fantastic. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know what, Drix? I think we're gonna move on. We're gonna let this beautiful Baldur's Gate 3 orchestral soundtrack play. What is this that we are listening to right now? We got the power right now. We got Down by the River coming up soon. CFM Radio. We are live. Baldur's Gate 3, CFM Radio.
wanna come and stand up to me, pull up on me now. If you wanna challenge, tell me, rookie, run up on me now. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I ain't never backing down. Come and step up to the plate. For my city, for my town. I'll do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get the crown. I'ma go all of the round. I ain't never backing down. Come and step up to the plate. For my city, for my town. I'll do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get the crown. To the top, see the sights, see the sights, see the sights, yeah.
CFM Radio.
Yo, let's go.
We are
CFM
back.
Radio. Back once again.
And I'm not the only one who's been playing a game that people want to talk about. Drix, I think you have been playing a game that people have been talking about. Has been taking people by surprise, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been excited for this for what feels like years. It's maybe even before the pandemic. We started hearing the early tellings of a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio and the like. We're talking Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and we are hearing some of the OST right now. This track's called Anime Break.
We got the
And
B-roll
boy-
up right now. So if you're looking at the footage, it's all good.
Yeah, I speak often about games with style, and you know how you used to have to stand out, especially in the early days of like Mario and Sonic, and yeah, this kind of stands out apart from the rest anyway. I mean, you don't always see a beautiful cel-shaded platformer that comes along, and I also love a good graffiti game. You don't see them every day.
Hell yeah.
But just some rebellious street running, and then you also get like a beautiful Tony Hawk trick busting element to this, and wow, it's a lot of fun. I put exactly 108 minutes into it and right now I'm stunned. I'm taken aback. I mean, it's definitely, you know, what you would expect from somebody trying to like emulate something that's beloved by fans but still put their own spin on it. Some of the bigger differences between Bomb Rush and games we've seen before are like, I'm super into the story already. I'm hooked.
Okay.
It's a bit more dramatic than sort of your usual Sega kind of fluff. That's, you know, I'm involved in this character right now. His name is Red, but they used to call him Foe, and that was when he still had his head. Because
oh, it's not his head.
yeah, no, that's the red, you know, FLCL looking head that you see on the main character. It wasn't always like that, and you learn what happened to him pretty quick in the introduction. But yeah, stories of street legends and rival crews and, you know, battling for what graffiti writers call up, not what cats call up, but where you get street cred and what in Bomb Rush we call rep. You know, if you're the crew with the most rep, you pretty much get to run the streets and tell people how it is and what it's like.
I love the I love that. I love the the street culture is absolutely, this game is absolutely saturated in it. You get up with your graffiti for rep. Oh my god. Like, so good.
Yeah, the crew called the Old Heads really like shows that they kind of know their influences and their culture. Not to mention the amazing soundtrack that like spans a bunch of just cool underground genres. You know, hip hop, electro, funky break beats, and UK garage. I mean, that hits all of my musical DJ buttons like crazy.
Hell yeah.
You could hear these songs bumping in a club or at an underground renegade party, and you
yeah.
wouldn't even bat an eye. It oozes style from every direction. So far, I mean, I haven't even unlocked BMX yet, and the story.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, you can take on and off your rollerblades or your skateboard, but yeah, I haven't gotten on a bike yet, and that's something I'm still really excited for. But the story has taken a pretty interesting turn where they're discussing how in their universe they've gotten robots to dream, and your character Red is now having these dreamlike experiences now that he's got a robot head. And
Whoa.
yeah, so yeah, some of the footage I learned how to use the dance moves and the dance commands, and as you defeat crews, you'll learn their dance moves and get to use them mostly aesthetically, in different parts of the map and with your friends. But like, again, they really know their street culture and their hip hop influences, because so far I've unlocked the top rock, like the classic breakdance move, and also popping, locking. Yeah. So just oozing with good times, culture, and a lot of fun combo-based platforming, doing tricks the whole time. It's a beautiful thing.
I gotta say, it looks like the tricking in this game is insane. You have like a boost jump, it looks like, from this B-roll. I mean, not this one that we're looking at right now. This crazy dreamlike this is that dreamlike stuff you were talking about. If you're watching the B-roll right now. This is a little snippet from the story right here, but we're gonna see a little bit of that graffiti that we love from this clip right here. But that, I was gonna say, that tricking looks insane. Earlier we were watching on the B-roll you do a little bit of combos with you were hitting statues. They were they were spinning. You hit them, you spin, and then you hit a bunch of them, and it unlocked a door. And it was cool because you were doing a combo the whole time. And in another one, you found a secret outfit. Is there a bunch of goodies like that? Is this a big world?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the full depth of the world just yet, but I was getting lost in just seeing those little signs, unlocking them. That's kind of like some unlockable stuff where I land the whole combo line and slap high five all the objects mid grind. But fun mechanics like turning into grinds. Like if the rail changes direction, you can turn into it and that'll up your combo. The graffiti is a lot of fun. It's not just one button. You pretty much intuitively decide what you want to paint based on what direction you hit the control stick. So
okay.
It's just based on whatever moves you kind of input with the control stick, as if you're actually moving an aerosol can up and down by a wall, which I love.
Sick.
Yeah, it's just based on your input, the design changes, and you follow through with whatever combo, and you can look in your It's funny, they give you a flip phone, and it's the future, and it looks like a Nokia Razr or something.
I mean, it kind of is the future, and we do have flip phones again.
Coming full circle. But yeah, you can dig around in there to see what combos will do which graffitis, and you can put up your favorite ones. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So it's freeform. It's like a freeform graffiti system.
Yeah, just about. It'll come up in the B-roll, but yeah, you get a omnidirectional little window, and you just point different directions, and that sprays your art up on a wall.
That's so cool. Wow. Okay. And it's not dictated by a specific pattern, like in old school, the first Jet Grind Radio, where you're doing a half circle left, a half circle down, up to right to up, right to left to down. You're not doing that. It's freeform in that you're just matching the dots, and then whatever pattern you do gives you a result that is a unique graffiti design.
Yeah, you unlock new graffitis, and basically based on your first input, that's sort of it. determines what combo you have to do. So yeah, you have
Wow.
pretty much as many options as there are directions that show up when you hit the graffiti button.
That is so sick. All right, yeah. That's dope
Yeah.
as hell. Like
Biggest maybe downside so far is similar to like my hover review from a couple years back. I mean, things can get kind of crazy when your level design gets really vertical. I haven't experienced a whole lot of it yet, but like if you're trying to get a graffiti spot that's up super high, you're gonna get a little sort of lost in like the trial and error of trying to get it, or
okay.
you know, be sure to pay attention to your map if it's giving you any clues as to like go talk to this character. But you know, so you do go talk to different people in different crews, and you should expect this to progress in the game. But you know, your rival, one of the ones I've encountered, they're called the Franks, and because they're Frankensteins and they're just sewn together humans that pop lock in the streets and spray graffiti. But you'll have to follow one of their combos and one of their trick lines. You'll have to hold a manual down like, you know, several flights of stairs, and you'll have to emulate
okay.
their moves. So if you've ever played Jet Set Radio, you'll actually the frustrations that you have like will feel very familiar.
Oh my god.
Trying to line up that one jump, or like, oh, like did I miss the direction of their combo and did I not copy it correctly enough?
Oh my god.
It hasn't been, and honestly, while you might struggle for that perfect execution, it's still a lot of fun. And I know I just picked it up last night and played it for a bit, but even when I'm like doing something that might feel like a struggle, I'm having a great time because I am just busting tricks the whole time. And, yeah, you know,
like
sometimes
Grind
you have
City.
to, yeah, the city so far is still just super lively to me, and I want to explore every nook and cranny and, you know, do all the what could be pretty difficult combo lines sometimes.
It looks
So I'll see how it escalates.
Yeah,
here.
the combos that you're doing in this B-roll alone, it's just like, holy shit, man. You've got like the grinds, the wall rides, into the boost, into like these like weird, like you said, like you're leaning into things. It's like you're on the ground, but you're still tricking, and it's like, what? This is crazy. Yeah, it looks sick as shit. Like I really, I think I might pick this up tonight. Like, and just grind all night. Like,
there's no like balance meter, so like if you're expecting it to be like Tony Hawk, it's like, no, you're not gonna do combos like that. You're gonna do it, you know, sort of in a more animated and flashy way.
Well, it's anime, dude. It's Jet Set Radio. Like,
yeah, cell shaded. I love it. And yeah, some of those combos, you know, you're gonna have a good time doing them, and rebelling against local authorities, finding out the mysteries of you know, who is DJ Cypher and what is he doing with your head.
shit, yeah. Yeah.
Uncover the mystery of, you know, who Red was as Foe, one of the big three graffiti writers in New Amsterdam.
All right. Well, I mean, was there any final words on Bomb Rush Cyberpunk on this one before we eventually get a full review from you? I hope.
Oh yeah, no, I can't get enough of this. If you like games with style, if you like games with tricks, if you appreciate hip-hop, electronic music, and a good danceable soundtrack, you're absolutely going to want to play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, it's out now for Steam, for Nintendo Switch, for PlayStation, for Xbox. It's coming out on September 1st.
Soon.
Very soon. It'll be out on everything. And from the sound of it, if you love Jet Set Radio, you should be playing this already. But for everyone else, stay tuned for our review.
Absolutely. We'll get it to you soon. For now, we are going to keep bumping the original soundtrack. This song is called "Da People."
The people. The people here, CFM Radio. We are live.
push me to the max.
We are live, CFM Radio.
We are super live. Oh yeah. On the ones and twos, twisting knobs and faders. Live DJ. Almost mixing a VGM.
VGM mixing, live DJ scratching. The best game tunes here, CFM Radio. We are live. You are watching, listening, YouTube, live CFM Radio. Tuesdays, gameplay. Pokemon TCG, Game Boy Color. We are 2 bad club badges in on that bad boy. But enough about that. We got more from Gamescom.
Oh yeah. One of our favorite CEOs.
Our favorite Xbox boss, Phil Spencer. You know, he sat down with IGN. They had a lengthy interview. The headline reads, "The big Phil Spencer Gamescom interview. Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, mid-gen upgrades, and more."
Can't get enough.
IGN, they're not lying when they say and more.
Yeah, more than our perfect score.
Maybe. But, the always informative Phil Spencer goes into a solid amount of detail here in this interview, including Baldur's Gate 3 versus Starfield, of which he simply believes that more great games in the industry are just a great thing to have. Can't fault him there. Very modest belief.
Yeah.
He also says that they will be coming for both Xbox Series S and X. It'll both run. It'll run on both. So you'll be able to play them on either one. Doesn't seem like the Series S held Larian back for that long. He also, yeah, that is good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Right? Xbox gamers, you got to get on this. He also elaborated on his belief that it was Microsoft who ultimately failed Redfall. Forza dropping the numbers from Forza and going for a live service model and all of the various game announcements they showed off. It's a solid interview that continues to shine light on the goals that Xbox has as a platform and their plans to place the customer satisfaction first through accessibility, first and foremost.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking back on his recent history, it sounds like, and, seeing what worked and what didn't.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense to go with this Game Pass thing. We still don't really know if it's super paying off for them. Anecdotally, I see a lot of Xboxes flying off the shelves for Starfield, but they did say hardware was down 14%. We'll see how good Starfield makes that jump.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds everybody who wants an Xbox already has one, or is still, waiting for Santa to maybe bring them one?
You never know, right? Santa could be coming. Mm-hmm. And, before we get out of here, I just wanted to say that we've got a lot of crazy games coming up in the next few months, everyone. People, this holiday season is going to be insane.
Yeah, as far as games go, we're going to have a lot on our plate.
Spider-Man, Starfield, Pokemon DLCs, Cyberpunk DLCs. So many things. So many games that are coming out imminently within the next week. Armored Core 6 is out tomorrow.
Yeah, some people waited a whole decade, Not a Souls-like. Don't call it one.
Not a Souls-like.
The mech-like.
The mech-like. Mech-likey.
Mm-hmm. Me likey to mech.
Me do likey to mech.
Yeah, we'll get on some 3-on-3 PvP soon.
3-on-3 PvP, sure. Yes.
Who are we going to have on Team CFM?
Team CFM, will it be Wonder Chef maybe? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Possibilities.
And you know what? I think we're going to, like I said, before we get out of here, we're going to listen to another song or two. Drix, what do we got?
Man, this is one of those top-tier, relaxing video game playlist songs that you can turn on at work. This is from California Games on the Sega Genesis sound chip. This is the Surfing song.
We're surfing California Games, CFM Radio. We are live. All right, Drix.
Hey, we have done it once again, Vector.
We have. It's been a great. It's been a great about hour and a half of music, news, and reviews, and preview impressions, whatever you want to call them. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's what's up. That's what it is.
Yep, can't wait to get back and play Bomb Rush while I install Armored Core and just go back and forth between those two games for the rest of the year as if I got 2 games for $20 in the year 2000.
Aw, hell yeah. Well, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for leaving us comments online and watching the Pokemon trading card game stream. We love you all.
Tune in every Tuesday for Pokemon trading card games. CFM on Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Subscribe to us here, please, if you would. And make sure you're following us on Facebook for all the latest updates. Twitch, or Facebook.com /at clusterfuckedmedia. CLUSTEFRFUKT. Hendrix, I think it's about time.
Yeah, we're going to say adios for tonight, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Clusterfuck Media, CFM Radio. Have a good night.